Yes and no. So I think it depends very much on the individual state of the person and why they're drawn to aggressive music. Um, there's not much aggressive music that I can think of that I enjoy listening to, except for the aggressive music that I enjoyed a lot when I was a teenager. You know, going back to what I said before about how certain musics can really imprint themselves on a person. There were several sort of subgenres of aggressive music that I quite enjoyed when I was younger, and still do in a nostalgic way when I take a moment to listen to them. For me, it never did bring out aggressiveness. And I think for a lot of people, um, the aggressive music can be a cathartic experience, and it can channel aggression in a very safe and healthy way. So I personally don't have any kind of general objection to aggressive music. That said, sometimes if somebody's already in a highly agitated state and dealing with um, uh, other types of mental health symptoms, like that example I gave, where I mentioned that sometimes he would hit the drums so hard that I thought he was gonna break them, and he described that the aggression could put him into a dissociative state, where you described the walls were melting away, and he was back in these horrific scenes in the Middle East. And when we were playing music like that, typically in the improvisations, the music therapist is trying to match what the client is doing. So if he's playing aggressively, I'm playing really aggressively. But if I could sense that he was sort of going over that edge and it looked like he was starting to dissociate, I would change as many characteristics of the music as possible. And so if it was like a chugging, like aggressive thing down here, and then I would just start playing in contrast to what he was doing. And he said that tethered him. He was able to grab that as a lifeline and not dissociate. And through many therapy sessions, I had to work hard to convince him that I wasn't inside his head tethering him. I was cueing him, but he was the one tethering himself. And for many sessions, he wouldn't believe. He said, "No, no, no, you're a master of what you're doing. You're tethering me. You're bringing me back." And I had to convince him and say, "No, the locus of control here is ultimately on you. You're the one who's in your head. You're the one who's bringing your back. I'm simply providing a cue." So the answer is mostly, to your question, to bring it back to your question, mostly no. I think aggressive music handled correctly, handled in a healthy way, for most people can be a healthy and cathartic way to release aggression. Not always. If there's other mental health symptoms or issues at play, it might need to be sort of regulated and managed carefully. But usually it's not problematic, in my opinion.